Greetings. I'm listening.
Great to meet you.
I've been expecting you.
For the good.
You come get the voodoo.
Hey there.
And you are?
Light be with you.
You come to consult the spirits?
Welcome to Orgrimmar. Have you come to serve the Horde?
Shiny. Sail here. Me buy and trade. What?
Sail here, me buy and trade. What?
Hello and welcome to Control Alt WoW, the podcast for those of us who love World of Warcraft and love making many alts. Today is Monday, November 4th, 2019, and this is episode 637 entitled, Anything New? I'm Aprillian, your host, and with me are two of my awesome co-hosts. Hello, Constrax. How are you today?
I'm feeling tired. I did a lot of repetitious stuff during BlizzCon, and after every war
that's
front,
what World of Warcraft is about, repetitious stuff.
And every war front and every dungeon, I would be like, I can't go lay down. I've been watching 4 hours of BlizzCon. My mind's blown.
My mind's blown. All right. And Jeppy, thank you for coming and joining us today.
How could I not on such a momentous occasion?
Because Grand Nagus is in Anaheim at this very moment.
Exactly. I thought to myself, Grand Nagus is not there, so this is the perfect opportunity to get a word in edgewise.
And I did try to see him, but I wasn't looking very well, so I don't know if he showed up on camera or not. But we're just going to talk briefly about, BlizzCon is going on, yada, yada. We're going to talk about all the new stuff after we do our weeks, because that's the way we roll. This week, just for those who didn't know, a couple of things going on. Dark Moon Fair. And tomorrow is the big reveal of what we get for our 15th anniversary of playing WoW.
Exciting.
Get a life, people! I mean, how wonderful.
The William Shatner maneuver.
Yes. Before we do go into our weeks, I do want to ask one question, which I always ask on the anniversary things. What brought you to WoW? Do you remember?
Do I remember? Who do you want to ask first? Myself?
You first. Jeppy, what brought you to WoW?
I was working on board ships.
On a cruise ship? Yep.
I was doing cruise ships after being in the Navy. And
in
then
the Navy.
I had a heart attack and was very ill.
Oh, no.
And found myself, after trying to get back to work for a couple of years and failing miserably because I just didn't have the strength or the health to do it,
Right.
I found myself suddenly having ridiculous amounts of time to myself, which I hadn't done, which I've been pretty much a workaholic most of my life. So my son and my wife were getting a bit concerned that I was going deeper and deeper into a pit. And my son suggested that I do some more stuff online.
And suggested another pit.
He said, this is a multicolored pit. You'll like this one. It's not so dark. And over the course of about 2 or 3 weeks, we tried several MMOs together. And the only one that really stuck was WoW.
Oh, awesome.
So I played with him for a while, and then started listening to your podcast, and listened to Alarchia's podcast and other podcasts, and realised that as much as I was enjoying playing, and I had a guild and stuff on the EU, and I was enjoying it, I wanted to get over to the States and play with people I listened to all the time. And so that's what I did. And 15 years later...
Here you are.
I'm actually on the podcast I listen to.
That's awesome.
And I thought you were an old white lady.
That's hysterical.
Actually, I listened to
You never knew until video came along, right?
I know. I was like, what?
I actually was playing Second Life. And in Second Life, you know, there's no game. You just kind of interact with people and stuff and make stuff. And somebody said, oh, you can make stuff in WoW. And I was like, So I followed some friends into WoW. And I really liked it. One of the things that dragged me in, though, was Leo Laporte. He was in, what was the name of that show? I can't remember. But he had a show about...
One of the Twits, wasn't it?
Yeah, Twit. Yeah.
This Week in Tech or This Week
in Tech, right. And this was back when that whole plague thing went from the dungeons. And I was fascinated by that. And so I came in, I followed some friends, and I've been here ever since. How did you get sucked? I mean, how did you join World of Warcraft constructs?
A coworker approached me, and he said, I look really tired. It's just like I always look tired because I do play. I was playing too much of Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction. I've been playing that for about 6 years. And he says, he goes, we're starting a guild in World of Warcraft. Maybe you could check it out. So
I
started
tired.
massively multiplayer in, but I didn't want to race to max level. I wanted to hang around and learn the profession system first. And once I got really, really, really wealthy, I started buying my guildmate stuffs like Mech-Engineer Chopper and like the Sky Golem, and occasionally I would give away a transmog yak, because to me gold making was just the natural way of things.
Yeah. So
I didn't see the point of being in this game, being able to re-roll an alt, be poor again. Why can't I just stay rich?
I want to be rich. So tomorrow, when we log in, we'll probably get, the buff? Oh, will it stack with Dark Moon?
Oh, yeah, they do.
So, that'll be nice.
So you'll get 25% extra XP.
Oh, did Dark Moon start yesterday?
Yeah, Dark Moon started yesterday. Yeah, and it's not 15%, it's 25%. Usually they use the same number.
25 is Warcraft. World of Warcraft is 15.
Okay, gotcha. Will it affect the Classic? Are you playing Classic at all, Jeppy?
I shall talk about that later.
Okay, we will talk about that later.
How dare you?
How dare I try to use your... I know.
Wow.
Bad host. All right. So anything else we want to add that's coming up? Let's check the calendar. The 15th anniversary, World Crest bonus event, Arena Skirmish, Dark Moon Fair. And then next week, the Moonkin Festival. And then, of course, the following week we will have, it's not called Thanksgiving, Pilgrim's Bounty for the Thanksgiving holiday week, whatever.
Oh, one of my favorite holidays.
Yeah, that's infect the indigenous population with smallpox and take their land.
And why don't they have an in-game smallpox blanket?
Right.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong
Political
with that?
correctness gone mad.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Jumpy. We really appreciate it. And we do give a shout out to Grand Negus in Anaheim. Hopefully he's having a good time. It was very... Well, we'll talk about that later. We're going to go do a roundup. All right. Let's do this.
I've had a fantastic weekend. Wow. It's very comforting. Those battlegrounds where you're not necessarily putting out more damage, but you feel like you're contributing more by pushing all the buttons all at once. Bad boy. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Costrax, how have your last 2 weeks in WoW been? Because we didn't.
I have been uber busy. I got my High Priestess Mana Saber. I don't know if that's cool or not, but basically.
Did you get my bags?
I haven't.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
Looked at them yet.
Okay.
But basically, I just did incursions. I did war fronts. I just kept going and going and going. And like, I gotta finish this thing. And to tell you the truth, I was going to work, and basically, I was doing an incursion before going to work. I was doing an incursion when I come home. Then I was going to sleep and waking up to do another incursion. Like, my mind just became filled with these requirements that I had to do to get this mount. And I put a picture in the show notes, which you can see at Ctrl.wow.com. And the Priestess Mana Saber looks awesome. It runs, it flies, and generally looks good. I put that on Twitter, and several people have liked it already. And basically, 750 7th Legion medals is probably too much. I think they wanted this mount to be earned over 6 months, not over 3. So it's like, I gotta get rid of this thing, because it's like it was harassing me in the background, and I leveled so many alts through the system of incursions by just having an alt I was carrying on my back, and then I would just murder something once and would count for 2, just like you were saying the skinning quest in Dark Moon Fair. If you do it on one character, it counts on both.
Right.
I was like, that is brilliant. Like,
right.
I could just double up my productivity by doing half the work, and I don't have to sweat, because my big guy, my super armored, heavily on steroid rogue, could just murder everything with adrenaline rush. And that's what I would do. And at work, I was pretty much the same way. I would just get my work done as quick as possible, and then the manager would say, "Great job on productivity, guys. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up." And then we'd show up the next day, and we'd just have too much work to do. And she'd say, "The numbers look good. Just keep going." It is what it is. And so we had like a super fun time at work, and I just focused on the game because I wanted to get a few things done before Dark Moon Fair, so that during Dark Moon Fair I could just do light stuff on the side, stuff that wasn't mentally consuming. And as you can tell, like, I finished the afternoon when Dark Moon Fair was up. As soon as all the WoW panels were done, I was like, I gotta get laid down. I just can't keep going. Feeling like during the Overwatch cinematic, I don't want to give away too much, but I was crying during that stuff because it was really emotional. Like, and that is well done. And I'm in Draenor. I've gone back to Draenor. I've got 7 garrisons going, and I'm leveling
sweet
followers.
Sweet.
And I'm recruiting Harrison Jones on 6 characters.
Nice.
What?
So when I go do the mission, I carry an ally on my back, then I log out the ally, then I have my 3rd character come to where we're at. So there's a spot on the map, so I don't have to look around for this thing multiple times. So I run the quest 6 or 7 times, depending. And yesterday there was a glitch, and I completed the achievement on one, and it counted for both. I was like, I'm done. I'm done on that character. And then one of my Harrison Jones proc to purple instantly. So I geared it to 673, all in one go. Like, my God, this is easy. I'm going to be able to level everything. Because my goal, I wanted to see if Harrison Jones had different abilities. Because I am deathly afraid of retraining him, and all of a sudden doesn't he doesn't give his buff to his ally that he's training. So I'm like, no, we're never retraining Harrison, but we do want to see the different power-ups, so to speak. Like what else can he do? And so like I've got this little system going, and I think I'm going to be able to do all my little heroic mounts, because there's a thing you can do in the stable to get a mount. But if you do them all like 20 times or 30 times with all different characters on max level, and while carrying this necklace that your mount freaks out as soon as they see the opponent, then you get something else. So I don't know what the something else is. And I at the same time, I also want, there's a NPC in the garrison that gives you a toy if you do slash tired to him. Paulie something. So I'm like, I gotta have that. Right. I looked up the notes on Wowhead. Basically, the notes are, if you do recruit a follower with wild aggression on the alliance side for 6 to 7 weeks on 6 to 7 characters, you have a chance. I'm like, oh, okay. This is not like light work. This is actually busy. You got to be really involved in order to maybe get it on one garrison. Because he's a paladin, and he's a paladin with the trait Reckoning. So I'm like, okay, there's one class with 11 different specs that can have a similar counter. So with the math all broken down, they say, just keep tunneling at it. And I was also doing on my Death Knight the thing where you try to get the Murloc ships. And I think I destroyed like 50 destroyers because I would get a destroyer and it would be the Murloc ship. So I'm like, well, that's no good. I'd sink that one. So I get another destroyer. It wouldn't be the Murloc. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to 7 destroyers. That way it lowers the probability of any of them being one of those 7. And it ups the probability of them being the Murloc ship, the Mark II or Mark III. Anyway, so like I did that. And I got the destroyer after about 50 destroyed ships. So you have to have a lot of oil to get the Murloc ship.
A lot of oil.
But their counter is they counter transport. So it's like, that's perfect, because then you don't have to have transports. You can have more of the other types of ships. But then you got to have a shipyard. So my Death Knight, I was like, well, I'm bleeding oil too fast. So before I got on this campaign of getting a destroyer with the Murloc ships, I went and got the oil well from Tanan Jungle. So I had to level up my rep with the Hand of the Prophet to get the oil rig. So now I can just do the oil rig every 17 or 20 hours to get more oil, because my rogue is maxed out. My rogue is 100,000 oil. If there was a mount that cost 100,000 oil, he would have it just like that. It just go click, buy. But I don't know if there is a rogue in the garrison, or if they're going to bring that back with different spin-off on it. But if they ever do go back to Draenor, I'm prepared. So I will have probably 30 garrisons at that point. And I want them to be level 3 garrison, because once you start doing the research for Harrison Jones, the probability that he's in your garrison is a little bit higher. I don't know how it all works, but I always have a Harrison Jones in one of my garrisons somewhere, either Horde or Alliance. And what I'm doing now is I'm also doing it on my second account. Once I have it on my third account, well, Jones bound to be somewhere. Right? So I'll be able to do it on multiple different alts and whatnot. But you need a level 3 garrison for him to be the trader of the day. And once you have earned Harrison Jones, then becomes the trader becomes Surveyor Daltrey, but he still offers a quest if you want to offer the quest to your friend or an alt. And I am really, really, really looking forward to getting that mount, the Hivebind mount, during my downtime. So my next vacation, probably in January, I'm going to set myself up for success. And if anybody wants to come along to get their Hivebind mount, I'll be doing it on multiple characters, Horde side, Alliance side. And I'm hoping to have a priest, a warlock for summoning, and like a DPS class in case there's any combat involved. So basically, you want to do it on two accounts, Brilliant. I'll take you. I'll carry you, and that way you can have it on both accounts, and you can carry an ally. So if you want to do your flying in Draenor, you can carry your other ally on the Hive Mind if you like, or multiple allies.
Right.
I noticed my boosts have been changed around. I used to have 2 level 100 boosts and a level 110 boost. Now I've got 2 level 110 boosts and a level 120 boost because, of course, when they announced Shadowlands,
there you go.
Within 45 seconds, I was on the shop going, click, click, click. Why won't you take my money? Take my money, take my money. So Blizzard's got my money, and I have Shadowlands. I got the Anima pet, and I got a mount, which is the like a flying sort of statue, bronzy, gold-colored kind of mount. So like it looks
kind of
like
weird looking.
Yeah, it looks like a big slug or a worm or something. Tadpole. Tadpole is probably closest to it. And I went on and on and on this week about gotta do Overwatch. Well, I waited to within an hour of the reset to do the quests where you do you have to win 9 matches or something to get the skin. And I was like, how am I ever going to win 9 matches? Like, I'm not that good, and my DPS, first person, like, I haven't done DPS for years. So I took a different approach. I went into the arcade because the arcade is, like, fairly simple. And if you run it on normal, you're basically, your allies can kill everything, and you can just stand there and just look around. So that's what I did. Is I went arcade mode. I learned a little bit about the other players, and I tried all the different classes. There's like 8 different classes you can play in there. So I tried them all, and I get it. I understand now why people say you have to learn like 8 characters before you start playing in quick play, is because people get upset if you can't hit anything. And as a DPS, you only have 200 health, so a tank could take you down, or a healer can take you down if you get a lucky shot. So I played in the in what's called arcade mode, and we had to fight Dr. Junkenstein. And after 9 wins, I got my skin for the Demon Hunter.
Ooh!
So that was really, really good. And like right now, they were saying this week Overwatch is on for $15. Well, I originally bought it when it came out, when I got the Origins edition. And when I first started playing to get my skin, I was level 3. But by the time I actually got it, I was level 7. Because you get experience. And if another player calls you like a good teammate, you get bonus experience.
Oh, that's good.
So at the end, when somebody gives you a reference, like I like playing with you. You click and you give them the same experience.
It's like an Uber ride.
Yeah. How many stars? Like you're a 5-star player, my friend, and then
here's a tip.
If they're willing to do another game with you, that counts as another win, right?
Do you get punished if you're not given stars?
No, they don't take away your XP.
Oh, okay.
So, it doesn't go backward. Once you win, you've won, basically. Okay. It's harder in quick play because you actually have to defeat other players who know how to play. But in arcade mode, basically you get a horde of mindless robots that aren't very good with their shots, which is handy. And you always have at least one player who can heal. So having that one player in there that can heal everybody, you might die once if you're not lucky, if you stand in the wrong spot too many times. But it was very, very entertaining to do that. And I went on rep grinds. I went being Cohen. I got to Exalted, and then I found out there's quests after Exalted. I did not know that. Because if you want to get the Heart of Azeroth level 2 power thing for your Adrenaline Rush, you have to finish a quest with one of the quest givers in Nejatar. So I'm like, oh, I want that. I wasn't really planning to get it, but like now that I know it's there, I want it because I want everything. So, and I did my mount grinds. I also got another mount by accident. Really, I was doing Rust Bolt rep as well because somebody asked me if I could fly them around. I said sure, because they're like 6,000 rep away from flying. So basically, you kill as many rares as possible. So I would just fly them around to every possible rare, or I would say what rare was up near my area, and they would gravitate to wherever I was killing stuff. Because as a higher level DPS, I don't need anybody to heal me. I could just keep tumbling into stuff. So, and basically they were a little bit further back because they stopped playing for a while, so they didn't keep up the rec grinds. But like, if you have a 2-passenger mount, you could take an ally on your back. It's so handy in the game because you make a friend right away, right? And somebody showed me their awesome transmog. I was selling this weapon, and I saw that the price dropped down to 4,000 gold, and it was in my bags, and it was 100 gold deposit to put it listed on the auction house.
Wow.
I thought, I'm done with this thing. I want to get rid of it. So I listed this two-handed hammer, and I said in trade chat, 400 gold. First person speaks up. So quiet for about 25 seconds, and then a druid texts me, and they go, that's a cool transmog. I go, well, it's yours if you want it. They go, where to meet? I go, the garrison. So we were there like 10 seconds, and I go, wow, you've got the druid's life form with like the passenger's seat in the back. I'm like, that's cool. And like, yeah, all you got to do in your Order Hall campaign is like finish the campaign, and then you get it on all your druids. I go, really? You just have to do it the once? They're like, yeah. And then all your alts get it.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So cool.
Yeah.
So I might go back and do that on my druid. I tried to do it before, but I lost it along the way somewhere. I fell off the bandwagon collecting champions, and you got to have 8 champions to be able to collect the 9th champion. So I have to go back.
Right.
Into you can't
get 9th champion unless you have the 8th one.
Yeah, if you don't have all the previous 8, it won't.
Right.
It won't let you.
Then you only have 7.
Yeah. So I have to go back and figure out which of the quests in Draenor I missed. So like I'll do that on my second screen while I'm watching a movie or something. And another thing I did is just really, really pay attention to what's playing on Netflix, because sometimes you're watching a series on Netflix and it goes out of style. They pull it off. I'm like, what's going on there? Like it's not popular enough or whatever, and they pull it off, and you don't have access to it no more. So if you start binge watching something, you want to finish before they move on, right? So it's like, oh, well, that's not cool. So I was watching a couple movies, and I'm like, oh man, this one's lame. This one's lame. This one's lame. And it's like, hang on a second. I've started watching 7 movies, so like, let me go back and finish watching some of them. And it's like, all the punchlines on Netflix are a little bit twisted. Like, they're not the standard Hollywood movie presentation. I was like, oh, okay. So, like, it's not everybody wins and he lives happily ever after. Okay.
No, sometimes people die and live miserably after.
Yeah. They give you, like, the moral of the story. They give you the moral of the story, dude. It's not, every princess has a tiara type of deal.
Or, in other words, life sucks and then you die.
Yeah. There's a couple of those stories on Netflix. So I'm like, okay, so like I'm more interested in how it was. And then I took my computer to get the video card upgraded.
Boy, they must love you at the computer store.
That computer store, I've been going there for many, many years. And basically, when I started playing the game I bought, Call of Duty 4 or Modern Warfare, the frame rate was really choppy. Like, I'd go around the corner and it'd slow down, and they're like, okay, something's wrong here. And they've put out like 5 patches since the release date, and they've put out a patch. They've put out a patch on the video thing side of things. So I went into Overwatch and I was having the same problem. I'm like, why is it so choppy? So what I did is I reset my mouse to factory defaults. That seemed to help.
Ooh.
And also I went and I had an epiphany. I was like, what if the video settings scale up with how good of a card you get?
Right.
Okay, so like I looked in Overwatch settings and my frame rate was at 300. I'm like,
ooh,
who in the world watches anything at 300 frames per second?
Right.
That's like even the Koreans don't have that good of an eyesight. So I'm like, something's wrong here. So like I'm going back through the settings and it's like, it says, do you want to cap your video card from going over? I'm like, yes.
You're
Bring it down to 140. Bring it down to like 140 frames per second. And like, it's much better. Everything's smoother. And then on my mouse, you can tweak up and down how the sensitivity is up and down and side to side. So I said, put side to side Uber. I said, up and down, just put it up or down just a little bit. So if somebody jumps in the distance, I can track them without,
But if they offer you homemade cookies, don't take them.
So I was in the game and I was trying to figure out how I was going to get more time out of my game. So during the weekend over BlizzCon, I would fall asleep around 8:30. And I would be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, back on the computer to try and grind some more of the stuff. I started leveling my alts on other realms, and basically so I could pull characters over. Because I did a weird thing on Mechagon, is I pulled my rogue over to a lower population server, and then I dropped group, and my rogue stayed there. I go, oh, this is weird. And somebody starts murdering the other character I'm playing with, and I'm like, is this a cross realm zone? What's happening? And the guy goes, yes, it is. Oh, I go, who's the other realm? They go, Earthen Ring. So I got murdered by some people from Earthen Ring a couple of times. And I'm like, they're really good at PvP. I'm like, ooh, not the pushovers here. It's like the elite class. And so like when it came up again, do you want to move to the other realm? I'm like, nope. I'll pull myself over to Thorium Brotherhood, and that way I know it's more Alliance players on that server, so like less of a chance to run into PvP. When I did incursions, I got several conquest rewards, because when you run them as PvP, you get 10 conquest reward per quest. So it is really, really handy to run some PvP stuff. I do have a quest where I need Drowning the Horde to get like the Heart of Azeroth thing. So I'm probably going to use one of my alts to go to Nashatar and then kill one of my own characters, because sometimes you try to kill a character and they hightail it towards an area which is heavily populated, and you never see them again. It's like,
so you're killing your own alt.
My own alt, which is Horde, which apparently that's still a thing in Battle for Azeroth, but we don't know going forward if they're ever going to have a third faction. But I think they might one day. Who knows? But
we'll discuss that in a minute.
Oh, will we? Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, so I went to Megagon. I got the rep going. I did some of the quests for the bee. I'm at not honored yet, or I'm at honored. I'm trying to get to revered, and once you get to exalted, you can sort of have your bee become your best friend, and then it becomes a rideable bee. But right now, I'm just working to try and get as much of the auction house, squeeze as much out of the auction house as I can. Right now, I'm at 1.4 million. on my main server. So like I've still got 3.6 million to go. So that like, if you put that in context, that's a lot of sales.
Oh yeah.
Like just one or two sales isn't going to cut it for you. Not unless you have like one of the TCG mounts and you can ask for a gold cap on it or something like that. But I saw some people got some cool mounts off the black market auction house. But once you get it from the black market auction house, it's sold bound, so you can't really resell it. So it's kind of hit and miss. The pets, sometimes you can cage them again. So what I've done on one pet is I got the pet for 40,000 on the black market auction house, then listed it on the regular auction house for 75,000. It sold right away because the guy I was fighting to make the price go up or to try to get away from, he saw it that I relisted it right away and he wanted it. So like he bought it off me right away. But there's somebody on my server who's always pushing the price of the unclaimed black market auction house container to over 130,000. So there's got to be something good in there every time.
Wow.
For him to always push it over 100,000. Like I've never seen.
He's got no idea though.
No, he's taking a guess.
Yeah.
But I've heard of Invincible being in there and other different mounts. I'm like, ooh, Invincible for 100K. Like, I would do it. Yeah.
I've heard of Crappy Greens being in there.
Yeah. I've had
he must be just playing black market auction house roulette. I mean, he knows that he's going to get something that will cover all these crappy ones.
Yeah.
At some stage, but I don't know. Is it worth that risk?
Right.
If you know, like, let's say you would know from a different auction house how much it's worth. Like, let's say it's universal across all the black market auction houses. And one auction house finishes an hour before, because of server time, before the other auction house.
Right.
Then you would know if it's in one container, it's in all the containers. You would know how much that product is worth.
Is that true that each auction house has exactly the same BMH?
Right. Wouldn't there be some?
It's a bit of arbitrage then, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know some servers I go to sell pets, and it's like the same guy because the character name is almost identical. So that's like somebody who's really well. Oh, that's another thing I did is I undercut John Jagger from AIE on a bet sale, and it's like, oops. So I found him in chat, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, no offense, dude. Like, I'm not trying to take away your profit. He was really cool about it.
It's the nature.
I felt like I stepped into it. I admire the guy. Like I'm a big fan of his show. And I didn't want to undercut. I didn't realize you were there.
Dude, I'd one copper you and a brilliant. What are you about? That's not how the auction house works. Jeez.
Right.
Yeah, but I felt really bad, because he's such a cool guy, and we talked about Overwatch, him and I told him I really suck. I'm really terrible at the game, but I'm willing to learn, and that's all you got to have in the game. And when I played the arcade mode, you get to try all the different characters, so you see why it's slow to kill stuff, or your attacks don't do much, or your special is really OP, or like for Soldier 76. I remember when I first played the game, you had 2 rocket grenades when you started. Now you only have 1.
Oh no!
So you have to think, where am I firing that rocket? Because you only have it once every 30 seconds or so, or 45 seconds, however long
certainly
the timer.
Don't want to prematurely fire your rocket.
Right.
Well, but that's the thing,
that
though.
Really sucks.
When somebody throws up a shield wall,
it doesn't happen to everybody.
When somebody throws up a shield wall, you can smash through that thing with one rocket.
I think there's a medication you can take to prevent that.
And,
just do calculus in your head.
I see. Yeah. I'm trying really, really hard to make some gold on the lower population server.
So are they.
I did sell some true gold for 5,000 gold each. So that was really, really fast up. I was like, yay, I'm rich now. Well, rich on a poor server.
I want to be rich.
I want to be millionaire. Anyway, so like, because the pet market is really, really hit and miss. Some people are buying my high bid, which is a lot less gold than what my buyout is. So, like, I'll try and figure it out. But you really try and price it in the appropriate range to get a quick sale, and so you can resell it again. But, sometimes people buy my auction and then they just relist the same auction they just bought because they know somebody else will come along and buy it.
Right.
The good thing with pets is that the cost to put them up is so low.
Yeah, 1 silver is just great because then you could toggle up and down the range that you want to be selling at. Some pets, though, I found like Sid the Squid from the Dark Moon Fair. On some server like Jub, it sells for like 40,000 gold, and on other servers you can't get 4,000 gold for them. Nobody wants them.
And then do you do the arbitrage with those by going to the other servers?
I do try, but they don't seem to sell as often because then the cost is higher, right? So I'm trying to figure out where the sweet spot is to buy them on one server and sell them on the other server. But it's really hit and miss. You can be lucky 1 week and then the following week nothing sells. And then you've put out that gold, so like you're down on the other server that you had originally more gold on. I sold a vial of sands for half the price.
Oh, God.
Because somebody said, I live in the UK. I don't have a lot of time to play it for a gift. And I looked them up. They already had the vial of sands in their collection. They just want to buy it for somebody else. I'm like, okay, well, the worst that can happen is the guy will undercut me and he'll just sell the vial, sold them for the difference in price.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to have that gold go away because I farmed all the mats myself. So really, whatever I sold it for is profit. There's no cost other than the 29K for the vendor mats.
Oh,
everything else I'm farmed.
And time is money, remember.
Time is money, but really, when you haven't made any gold on that server for 6 months, it was really hit and miss there for a while. No matter how I split the cookie, nothing was selling, and it's like, well, I'll take the sale because I haven't made any gold whatsoever for like a really, really long time. So that got me back to thinking, doing things differently, rearranging my strategy a little bit, and I can sell the bags, not the bags for storage, the bags for crafted goods. It's like, oh, okay. So I'll go towards that market, and I made a few sales. I was like, oh well, I never would have known if I hadn't failed repeatedly over time, right? I got another thing going in the oven. Sorry. Brilliant.
Huh? Oh, you got to pause again?
Okay. Again. Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Do you want me to close off and then you can switch off to a different?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay.
And that's been your week?
That has been my week. It has been uber fantastic. I didn't get a lot of sleep, but I got a lot of fun stuff. Fun stuff by meaning repetitious, so you can get a big reward. That's what I mean. And BlizzCon is just awesome. That's like icing on the cake on everything I do.
Spoilers. We're talking about that at the end.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Oh, excellent. Oh, how you doing? I get excited. I get giddy and love making mini alts. My dog is trying to poop for the Horde and for the Alliance. It was funny on my head.
So, Aprillian, how was your week?
My week has been great. I spent a lot of time on Aprillian, I think, I don't know, was it last week or this week that I finally I did 1,000. Now I'm back up to, 10,000. I'm still not where I'm supposed to be for Nightfallen to get my allied race, but I'm getting there. I am, I did a lot of Headless Horseman. I got a 289 Signet ring with stamina haste, so that was nice. Cool.
You already have the reins, do you?
I already had the reins, right? So that wasn't important. I did not. I did a lot of pumpkins. I actually dinged 118 with the baskets, and I'm actually 118 in 61% because I did a lot of the baskets and I did a lot of pet battles. So now I'm back in Surmar. I just did a withered thing, and oh man, I can't stand those withers. Why are they always running away?
Trying to kill them, aren't you?
The really bad thing was I finally had gotten up to like 1,000 mana, ancient mana, and now I'm back down to 100. One thing I did learn was that Aprillian went to Darkmoon Fair and she didn't have flour, she didn't have blue dye and coarse thread, but April was going, so April stopped off, picked up some stuff for her, brought them to her, and it turns out, some of those things that you get for, sometimes when you harvest ancient mana, it's actually a chunk instead of just going right into your currency or your currency. Mm-hmm. Well, they're not soulbound. So, yeah. And April is not high enough to do anything more than give Thalassian, or whatever her name is, 50 or 75 ancient mana a day. So she was overloaded, and she traded them to Aprillian, which was good. Aprillian.
Do they also sell them on the auction house?
Oh, I didn't know that. Do they? Oh,
I don't know. I'm curious now.
I'm curious now. Right.
This is not really an area I've explored.
Right.
Getting up the allied race and stuff.
Right. So yeah, I should check that out because that would be really interesting if you can also buy them. Because
if you can trade them, unless they're just account bound,
right? No, they're because Aprillian and April are in two different accounts, so they're not account bound at all. Yeah, so they must be able to be, but there are some things that you can trade, but not sell on the auction house. But you've piqued my curiosity, so next time I get to the auction house, I'm gonna have to check that out. Right now, my cooldown. Oh wait, I can go to Dalaran, and then go to Orgrimmar. Aprillian did a lot of baskets. I mentioned last week that I found that if you go down one of the side steps when you do materialize in Orgrimmar, you can go to the Caverns of Time, and now you can go down there. That was really good for April because I don't know why she's doing it, but she's doing that stupid raptor mount thing with the pet where you have to go down and...
I love how you say you don't know why she's doing it.
Well, you act like what? Like it's not my head? Like it's somebody else's head?
It's like when you're saying, and April was going there as well, and she popped up. Yeah. Okay.
Well, Aprillian has already done it. One of the things she did was she got a couple of hats. I only got 2 hats this time. Last time I bought 3 hats towards the end of Darkmoon Fair, and I forgot and didn't finish it, and of course they just go away. So that's kind of sad when you spend money on that. What else have I done? I logged into other tunes. I logged into Me, who is my level 56.
That's MI, isn't it?
Yeah, MI, right. And it's so funny because I guess you don't get Orgrimmar flying until you're 60.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I keep hitting the space bar, and it's like, oh wait, he can't do it. He can't fly. And he's actually a male, one of my few male characters. I also logged into when me got to what am I doing here? I forgot. Why did I come to Orgrimmar? Oh, to go to the auction house. Ooh, Alzheimer's. I hope not yet. So when me got to Darkmoon Fair, he didn't have any flour. So I logged in on April Demon, and it turned out that April Demon didn't have war mode on. So me couldn't see her. There's so many things you got to remember. But we're both in Clan of Darkness. So I opened up Clan of Darkness's 8th tab, which we've talked about this before. You can use it to put stuff in to transfer. And is that trade good? I don't know. Search. Ancient Witching. Oh, maybe just... I'm doing this live, folks. So that's even though we were standing side by side there's nothing saying ancient mana with those things. So what I have to do is next time I get some is see if I can put them on the auction house, which would be interesting.
It may not be a market for it, but you never know.
Right, or it may not. It may be that it's such a market for it that it instantly, goes
Sells
up.
out.
Yeah, right, right. I made some bags for constructs.
Yes, thank you very much.
I went to my garrison this week. Today it was 20. What is that? Resources, garrison resources for the fur, which is a good deal. Sumptuous fur. And I've been doing this a lot lately, and I'm so glad I got this. I called my gruntling and opened my bank and deposited stuff into my Regent tab.
Yeah.
That comes
That's
in.
amazing how
that thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people forget it though. They get it, use it while they've within a few months, or whatever, and they sort of they completely forget about it.
Right, and it's very handy to have. I really need to clean out some other stuff. Like I have 3 Laystone lock boxes, but my rogues are all on an account that I'm not going to be using anytime soon. So I need to either find.
You got a little bit of gold handy?
Yes, I do.
You might want to buy a couple Pyrium Lace vials because Whispers of N'Zoth is coming, and we don't know what's going to happen to that zone. We don't know if the vendor is going to be there or not.
Oh, okay.
So Pyrium Lace vial, the only place you can buy it is at the Oasis in Uldum from Yasmin. So I bought a couple extra because I'm like, if the vendor's not there, if it's dead, then there's none in the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. It's the one missing thing.
Oh, wow.
It's 5,000 a vial, a Pyrium Lace vial. So what I did is, so I wouldn't vendor it, because it's a white item, right?
Right.
You vendor it for 5 gold. So I wouldn't vendor it. I went to my reagent tab and I stuck it in the reagent tab.
Saving it for a rainy day.
Yes.
Right. I emailed.
You never know what Blizzard's going to do.
Right.
You never know. They're sneaky little bastards.
Right. I'm always reminded of the cats. What were those cats from Hallows Eve? Remember, at one time they were
Feline Familiars?
Feline Familiar. They were soul bound.
Yeah.
And then they became not soul bound. So
no.
So you never know. What else did I do? So right now. Oh, I had to reinstall or do WoW Pro again on my Mac.
Yeah.
So I could get that, and I'm doing good with that. I am 1625 into another 100,000, 10,000 for the Nightfallen. I still haven't gotten to that quest line. That's for the achievement. I'm doing the best I can, and I'm having fun, so that's all that matters. What was that? What was that, Jeppy?
That was Highland Spring Water.
Oh, okay. That was a comment on my game playing.
No. I think you're doing a fantastic job.
I am tempted.
I'm not sure what job it is.
Right, but I'm doing a fantastic
doing it fantastically.
I'm tempted to start another Death Knight, but I don't know why I would want to do that. So.
Have you bought the expansion?
Not yet.
By the expansion, you can create a Panda Death Knight.
Ooh. That would be great. And that's been my week. I'm having fun, getting there little by little.
Nice.
I wish I had done a little bit more on Hallows Eve, but I did run it a lot, and it was great. Shout out to everybody who didn't kick me. And I did not get to do the Day of the Dead, so I'm a little bit disappointed. But I have Macabre.
No, I hate that rolled straight in, especially since it was on BlizzCon.
Right.
They should have moved that.
And
they stretched it out by an extra day, but it's still completely out of it.
Yeah.
But I have the Macabre marionette on everybody, so
yeah.
Good.
I got like 30 in the bank, so
right.
Anyone does want one.
Can't give them away, and that's been my week.
Excellent.
I'm Jeppy. For the Alliance. Hello, my darlings. Hello. I stood in front of the Lich King, rubbing off the governor's tummy, ganking him as well, which is quite fun. Your mind is just a sewer, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Jeppy, how's your wowing going?
My wowing. Wow. It's been a while since I've been on, so I won't go way back to last time I was on, just the last couple of weeks. You asked earlier about Classic.
Oh, are you playing Classic?
No. I have to be honest, I pretty much abandoned Classic.
Oh, yeah.
And
what was your first clue that it wasn't doing it for you?
It's just I enjoyed it. I got to play with some people. When I'm playing with people, I don't care what I'm playing. It's fine.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. We could be playing Cluedo. Doesn't matter. The enjoyment is in the people you're playing with. The group. First of all, I'd like to apologise to those people that were on Pagel. I even set up a Facebook page for Pagel.
Yeah.
Promises were made to those on Pagel, which I completely broke. I'd like to apologise to the Aussie, particularly a share, who's now been abandoned by everybody, I believe, and he's trying to level to 60 as a priest, which can't be exactly the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
And also to Matterhorn, who kindly sent me stuff, bags, etc. And I imagine they bounced back to him by now.
Oh wow! Yeah.
He's probably thinking, "What?" Anyway, so I had such high hopes.
Right. I think we all did.
I'm not disparaging Classic in any way. It certainly ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of different people.
Right. It has its place.
Yeah, it just didn't tick all of mine. And the nostalgia was way too ruby coloured for me when I finally got into the reality.
Back in my day.
Yeah, I don't know. I also was leveling primarily on a PvP server.
Oh.
With Valacia and her friends, and who are now my friends.
Her friends
and it is painful. It is painful.
Well, and the big thing for me was that there were people out there who had plenty of time and were going at it. And then I felt like, oh, wow, I'll never catch up.
Yeah, you get that. Once you're behind, it's really hard to catch up.
Yes, exactly.
And then, and then I believe on the 12th, they're coming out with Phase 2.
Yeah.
Which includes the honor kill system. So PvP servers are going to be an absolute bloodbath. So that's given me even less incentive to necessarily want to go back. I'm not saying I'm never playing Classic again, and I certainly would welcome a TBC version. That sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do go at Classic, it'll be incredibly casual, maybe a couple of levels a month kind of thing, in anticipation of perhaps going on to TBC.
I heard that they were going to bring out the possibility of making babies. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
You say, as in The Sims?
As in The Sims.
Right. And if you were an orc and you had a troll and you got in love and...
If you woohooed in WoW.
Sorry, I had some tequila.
That would actually bring me back. just to see what a combination of orc and troll would look like.
Because there's a lot of segregation in WoW. We need to come together and not...
I know. It's ridiculous.
Sorry.
They also, moving on, Young and Brilliant, they also had a sale on. Does anybody notice the BFA sale that was taking place for a while?
Yeah.
Sort of, but no.
It may have been. It may even still be going. I know it was due to stop on the 20th and they extended it because people were annoyed and so. Anyway, there was a BFA sale on, which was basically almost half price.
Right.
What BFA normally would be. And if you have, because of the way the Battle.net works, if you're able to open up basically 8 individual accounts on one Battle.net.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you think, oh well, I would do a boost, when there's a sale on BFA, it's a lot cheaper just to buy BFA on an empty account.
Right.
So I did that. I had a couple of slots left on one of my Battle.nets.
Right.
I basically put BFA on it and ended up with 2 110s.
Wait. Back up.
Beep, 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 beep. Oh, sorry.
Back the bus up a second. You had a couple of slots left?
On one account.
Translate that for me. What does that mean? Does that mean you have 500 plus characters?
No.
Yeah. No, not slots.
Not slots.
Battle.net accounts.
Battle.net
basically, you only have 8.
Right.
So if you put all your accounts together and all your spreadsheets back to back, how many characters do you have?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you. But
I know you have characters you forgot about because sometimes you go get a name and it's already taken by one of your other accounts.
That's restaurant math. You really can't.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah.
It's bistro math. Yeah,
right, bistro math, exactly.
Bistro math. Oh my goodness!
I honestly, if I look deep into that abyss, I would not like what I saw. Because, and if I then try to calculate that, what that is in dollars.
Oh, I did the slash plate on my main, and I was like, "Ooh, spent a year in WoW."
I know.
That's a lot of hours.
But it is what I just said is something to look out for. If there is a sale on BFA, you'll wave up, and you want to do a boost anyway.
Yeah.
Because all that, like you were saying earlier about you now see up on your character screen a 120 and 2 110s. It doesn't matter where that BFA was placed. You can use it on any of your Battle.net accounts.
Well, I had a dilemma. I wanted to go do the candy buckets at that place in where the Night Elves tree burned, Teldrassil.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go there, and I couldn't. You couldn't. There's no ports. So I had to get a mage from one of my accounts to port my guys to Teldrassil, so I could ask the Zadormi to switch it back to before it all burned.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what boat to go on.
Yeah.
Like, where's the dock? Okay, the dock is in the Dark Shore. Okay, the dock's in Dark Shore. You can't, if you don't have flying, you can't. The flight path's not there.
No, it's gone.
So the flight path's gone. So how do you get to across the water? You can't. You got to get a mage to port you, and then you got to switch it back to. Once you go to the burnt out dock, there's a flight path there that'll take you to Dark Shore to exit.
But if you've done the Zadormi and had gone back in time, it should all still.
But the problem comes when you have a flyer who's post and a character who's prior. Then they're all of a sudden it's phased, and it's like
I had exactly the same.
The nightmare at that point is you don't have a mage. It's like, where do I send who to what to do so they can pick up the other guy so I can do the candy? I'm like, no, it's too complicated. I'm just going to port to the Exodar, and the Exodar, the portal's been removed. So at that point, my mage had to come to the Exodar to fix it because it's like my mind was blown. I didn't know what to do.
And then 6 hours later, you get free treats and about 8,000.
No, but I wanted an extra pet, right? And the Hearthstone, which sets you on fire. I got the Hearthstone that sets you on fire.
That's the
evil laughter.
I had exactly the same problem when I was trying to do my Hallow's End. Exactly the same problem. Also, as I was saying, I've been playing Classic with Alartia. I don't know if anybody remembers who that is. One of the original podcasters.
Right. She did the binaural thing that was really cool.
Yeah. We did meta talks in binaural. That's cool.
Yeah.
She's not played WoW since the end of, I think, actually the beginning of Cataclysm.
Oh wow!
So she's kind of dropped out of that. She was going super hardcore and kind of hit a wall and just dropped out completely. So I kind of enticed her back with Classic, but then slowly but surely have been needling her to go into retail.
Right.
So
is Classic a gateway drug?
Well, the way I kind of explained the situation was that Classic is like the beginning of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It's all black and white and a bit bare, and then you go to retail and it's like Oz. It's like it's colourful and fantastic, and she was blown away because when she stopped, we didn't really have the collections, the mounts, all the transmog. There's lots of things. It wasn't as colourful as it is now. When you stand in Stormwind and it's like Pride, it's staggeringly. So she's slowly been coming back in. And I said to her that she boosted the character up to 110. Wanted to, for some reason, she wanted to see a garrison because her husband has been played on playing, and he has a garrison.
He has a garrison.
And so
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Well, I'd assumed that you could no longer get a garrison on a new character.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure I'd read that somewhere, that you weren't able to go through that process to get a garrison.
Oh, that's
As it turned out, we ran through...
When you boost to 100, you get a garrison. When you boost to 110, there's nothing there.
Yeah, but you
have all the flight paths, but there's no garrison.
You can still earn it by just basically doing it.
Doing the quest line?
What I do is I have a mage port me to War Spirit, and I fly from War Spirit to... The flight path will take you right to where the garrison is, but there's nothing there, so you have to go down to the boat area to talk to Thrall or the Eridar there.
Well, we just ran through the opening of Warlords and ended up where you're talking about now.
Yeah.
And created the garrison. So anyway, she did garrison. So she hasn't come out of there since.
Yeah.
she loves her garrison.
She was absolutely blown away by the Dark Moon Fair.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having not seen the Dark Moon Fair for however many years it's been? 8 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And seeing it as it is now, jeez, amazing. So she's not had as much time as she would have liked, and her husband likewise, and her friends likewise. But I can see them getting into deeper and deeper into.
So basically, she's playing World of Warcraft like The Sims.
Currently, but that will change. And for us, Altaholics, I'm sure it didn't pass you by, Aprillian, although you didn't mention it. Recruit Friends back.
Right, it is. It's popped up on my screen, and I'm trying very hard not to resist it because
But it's changed.
It has changed considerably, and I've got some form with Recruit a Friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
To say the very least. The reason I have is because Recruit a Friend, basically.
Yeah.
And as you quite rightly say, it has changed considerably, and not always for the better, I don't think. It's not. Okay, so for those who remember, Recruit a Friend was fantastic. You recruit somebody, depending upon what level you bought in at, either you could level up to 80, 90, or
right.
100.
You had certain advantages, like you could teleport to where they were. You could
summon them, yeah.
You could summon them.
And you could also
You got a
most
mount.
importantly for us ults was 300% XP.
Right.
Yes.
When you
Both
played together.
When you played together,
Right.
and you were within a certain level,
Right.
so you weren't widely separated. Now they brought it back. The summons is still there.
Oh.
You can summon somebody every 30 minutes. One of your recruits. The XP boost is a mere 50%,
You're kidding.
which comparatively is a saccage. And the old gifts are no longer available, but they've introduced a whole lot of new gifts. And they've got a whole panoply of things that you can earn, all based around adventures. So one of the final gifts is you can dress like an adventure with the sloppy hat and the backpack and all sorts of things. So there's a whole transmog kit. And for the first one, you get like a little monkey. And then about 9 months in, you can get a plane, which is absolutely gorgeous. And actually 2 months in, you get a camel, which is also very
Ooh, a camel.
And these gifts are fine. But if you remember way back when you did Recruit Friend originally, you'd put 3 months, say you recruited somebody, they would put 3 months' time on their account,
Or
and
you
you would
would-
instantly get the gifts.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd be able to choose a mount. There was a lot of two-seater mounts. Well, I thought that's the way it was going to work this time. So anyway, Recruit Friend pops up. I want that plane. Okay? I don't care about necessarily about the transmog, but I want that plane. And I assumed, wrongly, that if I put 9 months onto my recruit's account, I would get the plane instantly. But no.
You have to wait
That's not how
9
that
months?
You have to wait 9 months. However, you can recruit up to 4 people every 30 days. So, in effect, what I did is, of course, recruited 4 people on a completely different battle net. Another thing as well is you can't recruit, I recruited myself.
Right.
Another thing is that those accounts I've had to be brand new or have not had any money on them for 2 years.
Oh, so you were able to pull up old accounts.
So as we've explained earlier, I have a ridiculous amount of old accounts.
Right.
So I just
I mean, ridiculous, an incredibly amount of old accounts. I mean, amazingly. Some of them who have guilds on them that you stole from other people. Oh, wait.
I gave that back.
Oh, yeah, you
wow.
did.
Yes, I did the same, Jeppy. Been there, done that.
Old wounds.
Oh, Guildmaster inactive. That's mine now.
I know. And the fact that I kicked out all her characters, that was just an accident.
I am not bitter. I've forgotten about the whole thing.
I certainly salted that particular wound, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, so I have the camel and the monkey.
Oh.
And a new title. And then every sort of couple of months you get 30 days free as well.
Yeah.
So you don't get a gift every month. Sometimes you'll get 30 days free, which kind of offsets the cost of having accounts.
Right.
I should say, a lot of people say, that's ridiculous. How much money are you spending? You must be a madman. I take my gold and convert it into balance.
Wow.
So a lot of the times I'm not paying anything for any of this stuff.
Right.
So it's not like...
It's all paying for itself.
Yeah. I pay for... I mean, I think I expect the other day that I've converted about 32 million gold.
32 million gold. So do you have the auction house mount or not?
No, I don't want the auction house mount.
What does he need
How
the
could you
auction
not,
house?
though?
What was he?
Because I don't see it's worth 5 million gold.
Right.
But they're going to come out with something even more expensive next expansion.
Yeah, I'm not a big mount collector anyway. Things like that, I'd rather have the time, the WoW token time that gives me.
You know what makes me upset in a raid? When somebody leaves to go repair. Because that slows down everybody. If you can put up a repair mount or just like put up Jeeves, anybody can do anything like that.
I've got those.
And then people like hearth out so they can go repair. And like, no, just ask nicely for somebody to put up their mounts.
Right, but if you're inside the raid, can you put one up? Don't you have to be outside?
No,
usually there's an area somewhere where you'll be able to mount up somewhere inside the raid.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. But you sure as hell don't want to be pulling out that massive big dinosaur and ask people if they want to do a bit of auctioneering in the middle of the raid.
Right.
So I have the things to repair.
I always marvel at people who start knitting bags and whatnot while they're doing the raid, and it's like, okay, like you're doing that just so you don't do anything worse, like pull the boss because you're in a hurry, right? Mm-hmm. That's people's OCD taking over. It's like, I got to do something, so I'll do something useful, and I'll summon my guild chest to put it in the guild chest, so I'm not pulling the raid while I'm doing the food and like I remember I used to do the in Pandaria you had the noodle cart.
Oh yeah.
I would put up the noodle cart. And people would wait for me to take it off to ask me, "Oh, could you put it up again?" Because they know they're wasting 50 feasts that way instead of 25.
Right.
And they would wait. They wouldn't buy anything from the noodle cart until I would pull it down, and it would make sure as soon as I pull it down, "Oh, could you put it up again?"
The noodle cart went down. It's gone.
It's
no more noodle cart for you. No more noodle cart.
No, you get no food this expansion.
Yeah, no food for you. You come back tomorrow.
No food for you. So I've calculated. First of all, next month those 4 accounts will roll over.
Right.
So that'll be 8 months on to my gift. That's one shy of getting the plane. But chances are, because you can recruit 4 people every 30 days, I'll just recruit another 1. They'll take me over to the 9. I'll get the plane, and then I'll wait for the next set of stuff.
Can you recruit a friend from overseas if you have a U.S. account and you both get something out of it?
No.
If you can't recruit from the EU if you're on the US account.
Yeah.
And the recruitee doesn't get anything.
Oh yeah, so it's only half the rewards then.
Yeah. Wow. The recruitee in the recruitment has never got anything. So it's always been a bit of a hard sell to actual people.
Yeah.
I can sell it to myself easy enough because I am the same person, but So, and then this is the weirdest thing. So I'm in Stormwind. I'm really annoyed that I wasn't able to get the plane instantly. And the guy rocks up with the plane.
How'd that happen?
I know. So I whisper to the guy and I say, how have you, because you know me, I tried every angle to try and get the plane.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, including using tokens, using cards. There's all sorts of ways that I thought it might work. I whisper to him and I say, how did you get the plane? And he went, give me 3 million gold, I'll get you one. And I said, no, that's okay. Still don't know how he got the plane. The only thing I can think of, and I haven't tried it, and I daren't try it, is that although you can only recruit 4 people, say for instance I've got an account called Jeopardy2. I don't, by the way, but just say I have one called Jeopardy2, and I recruit 4 people on Jeopardy2. I get 4 gifts that apply on Jeopardy2. All those gifts are, apart from the 30 days, are account bound. So I got the mount everywhere, I got the title everywhere, got the monkey everywhere, and eventually I'll get the plane everywhere because they're account bound. And if I go onto Jeopardy 1 and recruit another 4 people, does it accumulate? Does it mean that if I recruit 4 in there, then I can effectively get 8 months account bound stuff? I haven't tried that, and that may well be what this guy did. Right. Although he may well have also just duped the plane out of the file system. So who knows? Anyway, that was another weird thing.
Right.
Anyway, so
did you get a screenshot?
I did not. I was so shocked.
I heard at BlizzCon that they look at all the bug reports. Every single bug report, somebody looks at it.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible, but like I guess they're not doing the law of averages. They really try to tailor to their customers.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's recruit a friend. I will. If I'm back on again, I'll tell you how it goes. Hopefully, I'll have.
When you're back on again.
When I'm back on again, I'll hopefully have the plane next month.
Right. If I'm back on.
It's going to happen. Also, during this period of time, since I've been on, we had a Super Squirt Day. Super Squirt Day, Super Squirt Day.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Again, I said to Larcher, she seems to be getting into battle pets. I said, well, you're going to love Super Squirt Day because you can level all your battle pets. And then I foolishly said, and you'll also get XP for your characters. It's gone.
Razuri is saying he knows that voice. I guess he's waving at you, Jeppy.
Hello. Where's that gone? Where's the XP for players gone in doing Squirt?
Really? There was no XP?
No player XP.
Oh.
Do you remember you used to go into Squirt, you used to super level pets, you'd put your safari hat on, you'd chuck your treats, your 25% and your 50% treat, and you'd bang for your pets. Right. 11 at 25. At the same time, every time you won a battle, you'd get XP for your player.
Right.
So not only would you be able to level a multitude of pets in a period of 24 hours, the Super Squirt was there, but you'd also be able to level a character or two.
Mm.
There's no XP. It's gone. I don't know when it went. I haven't done Squirt for forever.
Yeah.
And here I am looking like a complete and utter mug, saying to my friend, "Oh, come along because it's fantastic. Not only will you level your pets, but you'll also be able to level your character." Now she called me a liar. It does seem that the actual pet amount of XP you're getting has increased.
Right.
Because I was able to do 2 fights wearing the safari hat and the treats and getting to 25 from level 1. So that maybe they've decided that's the way they're going to do it in the garrison. But still a bit annoying because you still get the XP out in the world.
Right, you definitely do.
So I don't know. They must have thought people are having way too much fun. 4 times a year. So let's put a stop to that. Very disappointing. But anyway, I did manage to level ridiculous amounts of pets. I switched up my strat. I'm using an enchanted broom strat now, which is incredibly fast and rarely fails. You have to get like 2 hits in a row. So very rarely fails. Very, very fast. And I think I ended up leveling 125 at least 80 pets.
18 pets. That's what I was asking.
18? 80.
80. 80.
That's what I was asking Grand Negus. He wouldn't commit to a number.
80 pets.
80. Okay.
Wow.
And I definitely, I pushed it a wee bit too hard. I was absolutely shattered afterwards, but it's worth it. And there's another one on the 5th of December. Super Squirt. So it went around quite fast. Then, of course...
What day of the week is that?
I don't know.
Thursday. I'm not feeling well today.
Actually, there's a normal Squirt tomorrow. And then, of course, one of my favourite holidays, and I think I don't stand alone in this, Hallows End has to be one of the most popular holidays.
Yes.
It really does. I mean, unfortunately, it makes a lot of other holidays seem rather lame. Hallows End and the fire and the summer festival are my two favourites.
Fire Festival.
Exactly.
Oh, they're my two favourites. Mainly because it gets you out. You get to visit all the places again.
You know, I wiped out on the Headless Horseman. Somebody pulled, and I guess the healer didn't have time.
You
to
died?
Healing. Didn't have time to switch back to healing, and we all died.
Oh no!
We kept running back in to try and save it, but then the healer left mid-fight. So I was like, okay, well, we're down a player, and the Headless Horseman just kept coming. And he's like, we wiped. Like, how do you wipe on this fight? It's not possible.
Yeah, I didn't think it was physically
I guess the healer was in DPS spec, and he thought, it wouldn't matter, so he let the tank die. Once you let the tank die, the Headless Horseman just has his way with whoever's in the party there. Yeah.
Once you go past two of his heads, you're done. I've seen a few people wipe. I've seen people just go in and just completely splash it. Just literally the couple of DPS are still at the archway.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And still splash it. But like you say,
I had this weird thing. I had this weird thing where a hunter came in, and he went and put a dot on the Headless Horseman, and left his pet, and he ran back to the entrance, and he waited by the entrance. I'm like, what are you doing over there? The fight's over here. You might show. I don't want him to aggro all the way down there.
It's very chaotic for me. So what I do is when I first run in, I put a focus on the tank, and then I have a macro that says follow the tank, follow the person I'm focusing on, and I just keep doing that and then doing F, so that I'm focused on whatever the tank is fighting. So that when it switches up to the head, I'm fighting the head, and then the only other change up is once he dumps the pumpkins, I do Rain of Fire.
I've been in a couple of fights where I'm by myself hitting the head.
Right.
And everyone's attacking the body, which is immune.
Right.
And I can see that they're blowing their cooldowns because it's like
they're attacking something they're wasting their time.
Nothing's taking damage over that. So I put the skull on the head, and it's like all of a sudden it's like
over here.
There's something else going on.
Yeah.
I understand if you're multi-boxing, it's hard to keep track of everything, but you should at least follow somebody, just not mindlessly
attack the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is an incredibly easy fight.
Right.
But it is also because of the range of levels that can go in there together.
Yeah.
I was in one that had a 58 level panda healer. Yeah. Which is all well and good because they're scaled up or down or whatever scaling is. But they don't have the spells.
Oh, yeah.
So it isn't good to have a low-level healer in there.
No.
And that wiped. So it is certainly possible to wipe. I already had the reins. In fact, I've got the reins twice. I've got the reins in my collection. I've got a Headless Horseman mount in my bank. Which I can do nothing with.
In there to
help but you never know.
That it may suddenly become unsoulbound. And I'll make $1 billion gold.
Yeah.
On day one. Yeah. I know. Actually,
you sell it the day before the event starts, then you're guaranteed a sale.
Oh, how cool would that be? But let's not count those chickens. But what I did do, and what I regret now, is I started way too late on the candy basket.
Oh yeah.
I got wiped out by Super Squirt.
Oh yeah.
And I was on my back for a good few days, recovering from that ridiculous amount of stamina, reducing gameplay. And so I didn't start straight away. And then the next day I had to go to therapy, or there was some other thing that happened. And I didn't start until the Wednesday. And I was like, damn. And I'm one of these people that if I don't start it, I'm fine. And I can let it pass. But once I start it, I'm banging it out hardcore. If you can call flying around collecting candy hardcore, but anyway. So I started off, and I was dual boxing. I got 4 pets. Got up to 300 trees. Got 4 pets, and then the next day I was like, oh, I need more than 4 pets. That's ridiculous. So then I triple boxed and got a further 6 pets, and then I was like, damn! Literally, Headless Horseman stopped at the minute BlizzCon was about to start. It went down at 6 p.m. my time, and the opening ceremony was at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I went to look at it, and it's like, oh, you missed it by 3 minutes.
Yeah. And so I did something which I haven't done in a long time, but because of my recruiter friend shenanigans, and that I had managed to basically open up, well, I now have 9 accounts open. I thought I Quinn boxed the last day.
Oh my god.
And I was completely out of practice, and I spent an hour or so just trying to get everything working, because as simple as flying somewhere, particularly when you have all the flight paths.
Do you still use that software, Jamba, or the one that makes all your characters follow each other with one button push?
I use Key Clone to send the push. That's the only software I use at the moment. I have used in the past a thing called IS Boxer and Jamba, as you say, but IS
Jamba
Boxer
had a lot of kinks.
Yeah. Jamba could cause you some serious issue.
Well, the only thing I got to figure out is when I'm multi-boxing is the follow is always my number 3 key. For some reason, that's the one I gravitate to the most. And because my 2 key is moving forward. So if you need to move forward, you don't want your follow key to be confused. You always want the forward button to be available for forward. So my number 3 key, I always have the follow gravitate to that one. And that way, if I'm rotating between multiple characters, it doesn't matter which character I'm on. I have my focus set differently, so they all form a chain. If I have 3, they all daisy chain around each other like a musical chair.
Yeah.
So they all follow the same order. And then
tab like a billion does.
I have 3 screens, so I can have each screen be its own thing. But if I look over to something and somebody's in combat, I default to everybody assisting rather than just have the one big character just whack everything. And I try to follow, because for some reason the elites, if your big characters trying to kill them, they survive a long time. They're buffed, they scale up to the health pool or something. But if you have a lower, less geared character and you put a bleed on them, the bleed counts for so much. Like it just overpowers what your big character can do. So what I do is I default to my follower to at least put a bleed at some point during the elite fight, so that I can get out of there in the minimum amount of time. And then I use the big character to navigate the mob in front of my bleed character, so the auto attack can keep jabbing. It's like a whole science of like positioning, and like you're tanking, but you're not really a tank because you can die if the fight goes on too long.
Have you experimented with interact with target?
The what?
There's a keybind called interact with target.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
You should certainly look into that if you're doing tab, because I know what you mean, because your characters are occasionally not facing the target.
Right.
Yes. You need to reposition. But if you have a button linked to interact with target and you've got focus, assist focus.
Okay.
Then they will always turn correctly.
Right.
Because they can't do anything else. It also helps if you have an interact with target, if you want them all to open a window on a vendor or something, because they will just do that.
The thing
interact with target.
The thing I don't do well is I don't do well with range. All my range characters are weak. All my melee characters are like the bulk of what I play. So like, if it is involved with melee, I'll always try to figure out how to come back on top during the fight. And
yeah, I like to come back on top. What?
What?
Okay.
That was dirtier in my head.
It was funnier in my head.
So after dual boxing, triple boxing, and finally quin boxing, I only ended up with 18 pets.
Oh, excellent!
My goodness,
a crappy year. Honestly, a crappy year. I've easily done 30 plus in past years. So kind of sad. And the cool thing, and then of course the cool thing is that I then sell those throughout the year, 40,000, and they're like a steady income. You know, just they kind of cover the auction fees for all the big stuff.
Yeah.
So not my best Hallow's End, but I certainly
But not your worst.
I won't say I enjoyed quin boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, at one stage I was running with 4 mages and a hunter. So the occasional stupid thing that got in the way and decided to fight, regretted it. And I imagine that particular character is no longer in the game.
Yeah.
Because he got destroyed so completely. With just
your 5 hunters cut loose on them.
Just ripped stuff apart. And if you've got mages and you can do the area of effect,
oh my goodness,
you can just rip stuff apart.
Yeah.
So the upshot of all that, Super Squirt, Hallow's End, Recruiter Friend, means that I now have a staggering amount of pets, a staggering amount of open accounts, and a staggering amount of 110s because I also use the cheap BFA boost.
Yeah.
On all those newly opened accounts. So as we start to move on to what we're going to talk about with BlizzCon, I'm prepared for Shadowlands.
So we can just segue right into that. We don't need a special thing. So what are your feelings about BlizzCon? Well, let me tell you one thing. I'll tell you my first. I was right about the scaling down. It's now going to be 1 to 60.
Yeah.
The squish.
The squish. I predicted that.
Squish, yeah.
Customization, you're going to have to earn that, right? It's not going to be like handed to you.
I think the character screen stuff will be handed to you.
Yeah.
I think basically the character screen within Shadowlands will give you the 20 or so plus options.
So which version are you going to buy? Did you see the different versions? Or have you already bought?
I bought Epic.
You bought
Epic.
Epic.
You get a free time with that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing, really, because we're jumping ahead a little bit. Shall we go slow? Shall we go a bit slower?
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you my BlizzCon story to start with. If that's okay. If anybody else wants to go ahead.
No, you go first.
I hope I'm not being greedy.
No.
So BlizzCon. So as I was saying, I'm going hell for leather quin boxing in Hallow's End. So it's that last minute trying to get as many treats as I can to fill in the gaps. So there's nothing worse than coming out of Hallow's End or any of these collection holidays and being 10 treats away from a pet.
Yeah.
So I'm working.
No, there is something worse. It's when you forget that it's closing and you don't use your treats.
Oh yeah, and you run back and it's all gone.
And
you're like,
gone.
oh.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I'm not saying that happened to me, but yeah, it did. Go ahead.
Oh, it's happened to me as well.
Okay.
Particularly when you're on different servers that have different time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I know that the opening ceremony is going to kick off at 6 o'clock. At about 5:50, I finally get my 150s, buy my pets, log out, start up the BlizzCon thing. And I'm not joking, but about 2 minutes to the start of the opening ceremony, my internet went down.
No.
I was looking at it. It was doing a countdown.
Yeah.
And then it froze. And I looked over on my other screen and Twitter had frozen. And I slowly turned.
But you
to
know
my,
why? You know why? The other guy on Isle of Wight was watching.
That was it. Yeah, he took the bandwidth. But my router was flashing orange.
Okay.
And I was like, oh. And weirdly enough, the only way I can reboot my router is to pull out the power cable. Which is what I had to do. I was trying to roughly pull out the power cable, put it back in, let it go through its startup sequence. And I came in at the beginning of the D4 video.
Oh, wow.
How freaking scary was that video?
Yeah, it was dark.
It was
dark. They had signs up saying kids shouldn't come in. Did you see those? There were signs up around BlizzCon saying that the presentation would be unsuitable for children. So the opening ceremony itself was pretty good, I think. I mean, I don't play really any of the other games.
Right.
Although I quite enjoyed, and I'm sure Construct's going to tell you a lot more about the promise of PvE stuff in Overwatch. That sounds very interesting. And also the Auto Battler game in Hearthstone. And the only other thing that sparked my attention before we get to World of Warcraft was the Warcraft 3 Reforged beta. It's big holders you have access to now, which is pretty cool. And I love the RTS. The RTS is something I played before WoW. So that's great. But yes, what about that opening ceremony? Anything catch you by the Sean Curleys?
The Overwatch cinematic was just uber. It always is, those cinematics. They creak you right in the fields, and then you watch it like 4 times in a row because it's like I didn't get like the little details, on the picture, like it, and I watched it back on YouTube 2 days later in high definition.
Yeah.
They have the little
I have to say this
squishy
about
doll on the seat. You were saying?
I have to say that the videos were perfect. I mean, it was high definition. You could see everybody clearly.
Yeah.
The neck beards, the pimples. Oh, wait, did I say that?
Oh.
I'm sorry. That was uncalled for. I apologize.
So you should.
That one black guy.
I mean, it's spot on. I didn't really understand that, to be honest, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The cameras pan over and it's like, whoa, wait, stop.
Wait. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know if that necessarily breaks down the demographics of Blizzard players. I'm sure it doesn't. But,
yes. Anyway. All right, go ahead.
Well, I thought all the faces for like the new models.
They were like great.
2 Asians, 1 black, and then all the different shades of white.
Yeah. The troll tattoos, the undeads, the actual pale undeads was nice instead of just being decayed.
If you want skin or if you want bones sticking out.
Right.
Would it be fair to say before we move on that the virtual ticket was worth every penny?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I didn't get one, but yeah. I couldn't
afford
it.
For me, the virtual ticket, I could rewind within 30 minutes of what the action that just happened.
I know, it was so quick. They did it so well this year, and they also covered a lot of panels which in the past wouldn't have been covered. Yeah. All the art panels were absolutely staggeringly good.
I did see the voice actor.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so wonderful. And seeing Patty, who I feel close to because she's close to Grand Nagus.
Yeah.
Literally in the picture. You've seen a picture of him with her.
No.
He looks like he abducted her outside a lift. She looks quite concerned, actually. Blinking quite rapidly.
S-O-S.
Actually, it was amazing.
I think she loves him as much as we love him.
I've got to say,
yes,
she does.
Right.
I also managed to. I bought the virtual ticket just before Squirt, so I managed to squirt both the Murlocs up.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
There's some seriously good. They are seriously good.
Oh yeah, the Res Allies. It's like Like, isn't that ever a cool move?
And then we also had that alpaca. Did you see the alpaca?
Yes.
Dottie.
For Make-A-Wish. Oh my God, so cute.
That I can't necessarily see. I want to fight with it because I would be distraught if it got killed.
Right,
right. I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably the one thing I do for charity every year is buy the Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
And I feel slightly better about spending the money. But,
right. Oh, is it too late
course,
for me to get
the virtual ticket?
I wonder. I don't know.
I think you can buy the virtual ticket for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, maybe when I get paid.
And then we have possibly the cinematic of cinematics.
Right. It was.
How absolutely blown away were you by that cinematic?
I was totally blown away. Especially, now I don't want to jump to the end, but I'm jumping to the end. How many people thought she was going to put it on?
Oh, I did. I thought, I was going, put it on. Supposedly, is it Michelle Monroe who was one of the sat on the desk? She was saying, rip it apart or tear it apart or destroy it.
Right.
She was yelling at top of her voice. No, when she held it, and they actually made it look like she was about to put it on.
Right, because she put it in front of her face. Yes.
And blown away.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that they didn't go down the cinematic style of route for their film breaks my heart every day. The live action, God of War.
Yeah.
Invest the money in a 2-hour cinematic.
Yeah.
Because, hot damn, that was amazing. And unfortunately, because Grand Nagus is here, I have a character named after Sylvanas called Busen Wunda. And
called what? I'm sorry, you faded out for a second. Called what?
Busen Wunda.
Ooh.
But this is a child-friendly show. I can't tell you what that means, but he would know. And I think it sums up my feelings about Sylvanas.
Yeah.
She's such an intriguing character, and I'm kind of glad her story didn't end with Tony.
Well, we don't want her to die.
We don't want her to die.
No. Well, she's already dead.
Yeah, this is true. And how about the new areas in Shadowlands?
Right. I'm wondering if there will be whispering. You know.
Oh, while you're going through that from the souls?
Right.
Maybe. One of the areas is super creepy, isn't it? One of the areas is super Darkshire.
Right.
Yeah, one of them is like all vampire type characters.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're very early on. We're not. I don't know what the estimated release date is, but I imagine it's the latter part of next year.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, even this distance, those areas looked incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. Obviously they create a tiny little patch of them to just give us an idea, but they also look very distinct, which I enjoy a lot. I don't like deserts, and then it's nice to have some very distinct areas. And then we have covenants, which I think is an awesome way of playing the game.
Right.
That you get to experience each of the covenants as you level through.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide which one you want to kind of sign up with.
Yeah.
And then you get a specific thing that everybody gets and a class-specific thing from that particular covenant. Now, the things they showed were not ridiculously different. So it's not like if you took this, you weren't going to be able to play. You could easily find yourself choosing it in one of those covenants. And I guess there's more to the style of the armor, the aesthetic, the other bits and pieces, the soul bind stuff.
Right, the soul binding stuff, so you could actually bind yourself to another player.
Staggering, what a fantastic idea. Instead of having a weapon with boots, or it's in your connection with other characters.
You're fading again. Bring it back.
Then you connect to this other character, and your deeper connection gives you more and more powers. I think that was cool.
Right.
And then we have this, the more. How ridiculous does that sound? How scary does that sound?
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see the bit where they were explaining that that the jailer watches you, and if you're causing too much trouble or causing too many deaths of the creatures in the moor, they'll send harder ones at you.
Yeah.
Not that they'll randomly spread out for the world, but they will find you.
Yeah.
That is staggering. What a staggering change. Instead of saying, "Oh well, if I go this way, I'm going to run into this first, then there'll be this." Very much of a carnival ride feel when you're leveling well. Stuff patrollable now, but you've got a pretty idea where the baddies are.
Yeah.
But these people will get annoyed with you, and they will come and find you. That's the most scary crap I've ever heard. So it seems that you're going to be encouraged to be a little bit more sneaky and a bit more thoughtful about what you kill and what you don't kill.
Right.
And all those some of those special abilities you'll get from your covenant are very much seem to be geared towards you being able to sneak around a bit, being able to skip over baddies and so on and so forth.
Right, but then was one of the areas there wouldn't be any kind of relief, or you wouldn't be able to find any place to heal, so you're just going to have to make sure you're okay on your own?
Yeah, because there's this Torghast Tower of the Damned.
Right.
Which is, I guess, in the centre of the moor.
Mm-hmm.
And we're what we called moor walkers, so we could come in and out of the moor, which I thought was like moor walkers instead of mole walkers. But anyway, and that sounds fun, that tower.
Right.
And it seems a fantastic system for, as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm banging on and nobody's talking. That's how you build your legendary.
I put myself on mute because sometimes my breathing comes through on the recording.
Okay, but yeah, jump in. What did you think of the tower constructs?
I like the fact that you can only go up so many levels before it gets too hard.
Yeah, and then you have to.
They're going to fine tune that up and down if you're in a group or not. But for me, who likes to multi-box, knowing that I can go a certain distance and everything's fine, and as I go up higher, it's time to go play somewhere else or play my alts. Like, I think they want it so we don't burn out on that stuff.
Right.
I also, I like the idea that you get to a certain level of the tower, you've earned certain additional spells and so on, which I understand you can then build into your legendary. And so when you go back again, you have those special powers within your legendary, and you can proceed further along. Right. It's kind of like a fun gating, in as much as you're being gated,
right? Because
you just can't rush up to the top,
right?
But at the same time, you can clearly see the reason. You're getting more powerful as you go up, but you need to then go back and sort of sort that power out. It's a very, very good idea. I mean, we have to see it in practice. A lot of this stuff, the question is, hopefully they will deliver it.
Right.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff which I like. We're talking about the character creation, customization. That looks amazing. Those backpack type cloaks looks absolutely amazing. But they have promised things like that in the past.
Dance
when they
studio.
promised all these quivers and stuff, or dance studio, don't even. Yeah. They promised all sorts of quivers and bits and pieces you could add to your gear. It never happened.
Right.
And there was a whole panel about it a couple of years ago. So if that happens, I'm definitely going to want to be a Wildhammer dwarf.
Was there something about backpacks?
Yeah, well, they're cloaks.
Okay.
But they have more of a backpacky feel to them. So it's not a cloak. I mean, there's some wings on. There's some sort of sigil type ones. I mean, it looked amazing. And if that comes off, which it really has to when you promise that sort of thing.
When I first heard it, I thought they were going to add slots to your backpack based on something, but I guess it was just cosmetic.
Well, the funny thing is that one of the recruiter friend, the final reward actually, is a backpack. I believe replaces your cloak. I don't think it takes away the bag slot. I don't know, but as far as I know, that's just cosmetic. But it looks amazing, and it's the sort of thing that I can see lots of people wanting to have.
Right.
So I was super impressed by the plans for character creation, and I think, and this is just pure spitballing, that you'll have a lot of your options in the creation screen from day one. And you'll be able to create characters, level 1 characters with all those sort of extra bits and pieces. Different coloured eyes, for example, which you can't do now.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll be able to select your eyes, you'll be able to select proper colour skin, ethnicity. All the, as you were saying earlier, all the tattoos. And I was just saying that I think you'll be able to go out into the world and earn extra looks, as well as the ones that they're just going to give you.
Kind of like they had the hidden appearances for the artifacts. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that sounds great. Now, they had a Q&A, which they did come. I mean, there was 3 panels, wasn't there? There was the what's next for WoW. There was a deep dive, which was fascinating. Then they had a Q&A. One thing that came up in the Q&A, one of the questions was asked, was the age-old one about flying, which, and we'll talk about the squish in a minute, but as far as they just basically said that flying will be earned in Shadowlands in the same way that it's earned now. It has been the last 3 expansions, which, that's the way it is from now on, I guess, so not such a huge thing.
I don't think they can go back to the old model where it's just a certain amount of gold because people have outgrown the system.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hope they don't make it ridiculously grindy. And I hope they don't make it so that you're basically at near the end of the expansion before you can earn it. But then again, it's up to them. And if the areas are as good as they look, I want to see them on the ground.
Yeah.
So it's not like, that I'm going to think that I'm being gypped. I don't. Did you watch the Q&A?
I watched the Q&A.
So I was just saying that we were looking at the Q&A. It was hosted this year by Taliesin and Evital.
Yeah.
Who I think did a good job. How did you feel?
Oh yeah, I loved it. See the point that they asked. They said we don't want to talk too much about ourselves, so we want to get right into your questions. So right away, it's the focus is you guys, what you want.
Yeah.
So that was super awesome because a lot of people say developers don't listen to the players. Well, you have to think about they're trying to achieve the goal that we're having fun, and not everybody has fun the same way. The game is very broad. If you look at the requirements on the box for the next expansion, it's souped up quite a bit compared to what it was before.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. No, I think they did a very good job. I enjoy I'm not always a big fan of Taliesin. I love Evital regardless, but I think they did an excellent job. They did have a little bit of a Hong Kong protest during the Q&A, which was a bit of a damp squib, really.
Yeah.
One guy said it, and then a kid ran up and started saying "Free Hong Kong," and I haven't been here to talk about my views on Hong Kong, and I won't bore you with them now. But only just to say that if you have problems with what's happening with Hong Kong, your fire should be focused on China, not on Blizzard. But anyway, that's all I'll say about that.
Right.
So, as you were saying earlier, we have the level squish, as predicted by Aprilia.
Yep.
So we're looking at 60 being the highest level. Yep. The 1 to 10 for new players, as I understand it, 1 to 10 will be in the new starting zone called Exile's Path, which again they only
you
should
can
have
use the old zones, or you have the choice of everyone starting in the same zone as the Exiles reach.
If you're a brand new player, I don't believe you have the option to start elsewhere.
You have to have one max level.
Yeah. So new players, they have the option of going Exile's Path, choosing a zone
and even
by Chromie, and then going in BFA. Actually, no, they have a choice of going Exile's Path, BFA, Shadowlands. That's a new player's pathway. For us, old schoolers, and far from being new, we can pick and choose if we want to start in Exile's Path or the old starting zones, which I guess they're going to give more XP in, because in Northshire Abbey, for instance, you would only get to about level 5 currently, and they seem to be saying that you'll get to level 10 there before going to visit Chromie and choosing an expansion.
And didn't they say something
that?
about Death Knights being able to be one start in the starting zones?
They'll be able to be any race now.
Right.
And they won't have to start in the Death Knight area, and including Demon Hunters as well.
That's right.
Both Demon Hunters and Death Knights will have the same leveling path as everybody else. And as Construct said, truthfully, including pandas, which I never really understood why they couldn't be.
Well, because they're so round and
I want
life.
a fluffy Death Knight. That's amazing. I'm going to do that straight away.
A fluffy Death Knight.
As I understand it, Constructs, you can do that now because you've already bought the expansion. Is that correct?
You can boost to 120. You can boost. I haven't tried to make a new character.
You should try. Let us know. Because
I made a Death Knight 2 weeks ago, and you still start in Death in the.
Well, that was 2 weeks ago.
I think you're
right.
That
was before the announcement.
I think you're right. If you created the panda now, you would still go through the current zone.
Oh, but just be a
that
Death
won't
Knight.
kick in, but you'd be able to do a panda. That's the difference.
The one thing I noticed after I bought the expansion is a new quest popped up to say, oh, you need to take the essences of the living. So if you buy the expansion now, you get some of the pre-launch event quests already in your quest log.
That's cool.
So they're already preparing you, like grooming you to move on to the
grooming you.
They're grooming you for the ball or whatever. To like if you pay up first, you won't have to do a lot of work. And like some people don't see it as work, but sometimes it is work. Like when you have to collect 40 essences, and I was in Mechagon, and I killed them off, and it dropped 5 of those essences, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna just go kill a whole bunch of these things. No, those are like my 5 essences for this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so like there is going to be some gating. So like people are going to buy it and think, okay, I can skip the event. You can't skip the event. You can't skip 9.0. 9.0 is going to happen whether you're prepared or not. But Blizzard, what they're doing is if there's like a time gating requirement and you want to advance them some cash on development, they're gonna sweeten the pot or something. Hi, Maya.
So you go. I really like this idea, and I hope it sticks. I love the idea that you go to Chromie at level 10, and you say, "Listen, Chromie, I want to level in Pandaland." and then I guess there's some sort of time walkie type thing that happens, or some squishy type thing that happens, and that you go to Pandaland, and you can do 10 to 50. And not leave that land, which is staggeringly good.
Yeah,
because lots of people have areas they dislike.
So
sorry.
So once the expansion starts, then all of a sudden, instead of being 118, which hopefully by then I'll be 120, I'll be immediately smashed down to 60?
50.
50. Oh yeah, that's right.
You level
in order for you to get to 60, you have to start the expansion at 50. So if you're not max level, there'll be a formula to scale you down to where you should be in the progression.
Also, what's important to note is that's actually planned to happen in the pre-patch.
Right.
the people who are 120 will be downgraded to 50. Also, I can't imagine you won't have to buy Shadowlands to experience the squish.
Right.
There's not going to be loads of people that don't have Shadowlands that will be 120.
Right.
That whole process of going to Chromie, leveling, starting an Exile's Path, that's going to be with everybody. That's not going to require Shadowlands.
Right.
That would be an impossible system to measure, to manage. So everybody's going to be affected by this. Another thing that came up in the Q&A, and I think you were mentioning it earlier, was that Ian Hazzikossa said there were no plans for Horde and Alliance to cross party.
Yeah.
That he couldn't ever see that happening. That the foundation of WoW was that faction split. And although we seem to be going into an area now where we're all facing the same baddies, and we're not necessarily contending with each other, that doesn't mean that there'll be a third faction or that Horde and Alliance will be able to party together. That's not going to happen. Although I think a lot of people were hoping that it would.
Yeah.
The other thing about the squish is Ian was asked not only about flying in Shadowlands, but how you would fly during the squish. Because at the moment, in order to get flying, as you all know, in Legion, in Warlords Legion or BFA, you have to level in those areas.
Yeah.
Which means that you would be kind of stuck. And the idea being that if you level to 50, move on to Shadowlands, you would not have flying necessarily in those other areas. So hopefully they'll do something with that. Hopefully they'll basically say you get to level 50, you get the previous expansions flying, and then you go on to earn the flying for Shadowlands as a separate thing. Because otherwise that's going to be a real mess. Because currently, if I go to level in Pandaland on an alt, I can fly there.
Yeah.
I don't have to earn it again.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
I bought a bunch of those things on the black market auction house so you could fly in Pandaland, and I still have them, but they're like, okay, so I got four of these things to fly in Pandaland, but I'm like, you get it with the basic flying. Okay, well, I guess I can sell them to vendor or hang on.
Museum pieces now.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, from what I can understand, from an Alcoholics point of view, Shadowlands sounds amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing, particularly since you can, once you've done Shadowlands once, which seems relatively linear. You start here, you go here, you go there, you go there. Then you can pick and choose on your alt where you want to level. You can go to any of the Covenant areas. As I understand it, your initial run through is going to be relatively linear in order to get the entire storyline, which is not going to be the same as it has been in previous expansions, where you can start wherever you feel like, because that storyline is relatively encapsulated. So that'll be interesting. And the pricing, you were saying about the pricing? Excellent idea.
Yeah, it's like $79,
For the
$99,
Epic.
or $104. So, like, I paid $104. Basically, that's Canadian dollars. It's going to vary across the different nationalities. How much?
I mean,
it is.
dollar-wise, American dollar-wise, it's like $39.99.
For the basic.
Which you basic, just get Shadowlands.
Right.
Yeah.
No boost, no nothing. No mount. And then you get then for $59.99, you get the boost, and you get the mount, and the
And you
various
get
pets.
30 days.
No, just the mount.
Oh.
Just the mount.
Right.
And then for $79.99,
Right.
you not only do you get everything that you got previously from the other two, but you also get other bits, pieces, pets, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And more importantly, I thought 30 days of game time.
Yes.
So in effect, you're paying $5 extra.
Yeah.
Because you're saving yourself $15.
Yeah.
So the choice for the first account, the choice is relatively clear. I don't see why anybody would not go with that choice for the Epic for their first account. And also, because of the way the squish works, leveling alts or getting up. Say like me, and I'm sure you're the same. You've got characters on level 100. You've got characters on level 90. You've got characters on 105. And so you'll have a whole panoply of characters at various levels. Because with the squish and the increased leveling speed, which they're saying is about 70% faster, why you would go back and level all those characters to what will effectively be level 50, because it will be incredibly easy to do that.
Yeah.
So the idea that you can now buy a basic $39.99 dealio without the boost is fantastic, because I don't really see the point of a boost beyond the first one.
Yeah, but you'll get one when you buy the expansion. You'll get one included.
Yeah, I know, but you won't get it on the $39.99 deal or the $59.99 deal.
Right.
You'll only get it on the $79.99. I mean, I can't. You won't want the pet again. You won't want the mouse again, because they're all account bound.
Right.
So they've done that, and that is an amazing thing to do, because they could have squeezed this all down the $59.99 route. And to a lot of people, they would have a wasted boost.
But what's going to happen with the families that have, like 4 accounts in the household? How's that going to work? Is everyone getting the premium, or is just a couple people getting the premium? Like, if
you've got several Battle.net accounts as opposed to accounts on the same Battle.net, then of course each one of them would want the mount and the pet, and the boost, I imagine. So I can certainly see that happening, and I can certainly see me buying more than one. I won't buy more than one $79.99 one, because I never do buy more than one of the collectors.
One of my co-workers, he's been going to BlizzCon for the past couple of years, and he told me, he goes, when I have a problem in the game, he goes, I don't go in guild. He goes, I yell downstairs to my son, hey, can you come on the computer and fix this?
Yeah.
And his son, gets the PvP character in the most murderous gladiator plate, show up and boom, and just whatever needs to be murdered, just to like it's obliterated. It's like it never was never there. And
it's nice that virtual murder brings families together.
It's like he's got a free hitman. Hey, I can't finish this quest because somebody's griefing me. Oh, okay. Boom, boom, boom. He murders like multiple people. Like I don't like these people. Can you just go over there and zap them? So that's his son downstairs. Like, I don't know how much the house, like basically I asked him, oh, are you upgrading your video card? He goes, video card? He goes, we upgraded all the computers. It's like, he's got money.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I just felt this was the best BlizzCon forever. I really did. I came away from it. Sometimes I buy the virtual ticket and I feel like I've been gypped. I'm like, ugh. I try not to buy it on years where there's not a big WoW announcement. But then again, I'm last year wasn't easy, but it's crappy gifts. Super crappy gifts. And I knew there would be no real WoW talk. So this year, though, knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
And
my wife watched the talent competition on the first day with me.
Yeah, cool.
That was just awesome. Like, Barmu won, and it was genuinely very entertaining because those people made this stuff with their hands,
Yeah, that cosplay stuff is always amazing.
Yeah.
I think it needs even more exposure.
I'm always reminded of the guild.
Yeah.
When that one, what was her name?
Charm?
Well, no, her real name was April Liu, but she was the Asian chick that was so, angry and vicious, but she turned out to be a really good cosplayer. And she was embarrassed by her family.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
I
good,
know
though.
the girl who was dressed in the Leia suit, the Diablo suit. She's from France, so she had to pack all that stuff in a suitcase.
That's so crazy.
And then when they announced her as the winner, she just started weeping.
Oh,
it's like she didn't see it coming. She thought, like this is what I like to do, and like first prize.
Cool.
You know.
All right, so I have to say, BlizzCon was great. I might just go back and buy the package now. I do remember one year when they had so many glitches and you could barely watch it. But
yeah,
there was one year where it would just start and stop, and you wouldn't be able to see any of the panels.
Right. So
I was so impressed by not only just watching it on the big screen. I watched it on my telly for a while. And then I watched it on my tablet.
The big screen in the living room. You just
sweet. It was just pure quality.
Yeah.
I don't think I had one glitch. I can't remember one. And if it was, it would just be like a split second of where the sound would maybe drop out. They really did it well this time.
I had a little bit of choppiness right at the start when they started.
Yeah.
It would stutter a bit, but the soundtrack was perfect. So it was just the camera that just couldn't keep up because it's in real high definition. Mm-hmm. And if you have 50 million people watching it at the same time, like it's just a Super Bowl basically. Right. So like you can't. I watched it the next day on replay, and it was perfect. There was no delay, no lag, no nothing. Everything was just bang on. It was really, really nice. It comes out on the 4K TV, just beautiful. MacGyver put a thing. He was watching it in bed on his TV. Just push from the iPad to the TV, and boom, high def and everything. Why not?
I just read this thing. You won't be able to create a Panda DK until 8.3.
Oh.
8.3, isn't that right around the corner?
I think you're looking a chunk into the new year.
Okay.
It's the all the ends off content.
Nazoth, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Nazoth. I keep thinking
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
NSYNC.
NSYNC. Justin Timberlake.
Exactly. I keep expecting
Mind you, he ended up married to, what's his name? What's her name?
Christina Aguilera.
Jessica Alba? No, Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel. He did all right.
Yeah, he did okay. I think Justin's doing just fine.
He's just fine. That's right.
He's doing just fine.
All right. Good job, everybody.
I guess it's time for email now.
Emails, folks?
Email.
La data. You've got mail. Who's next? I'm addicted to you, baby.
Lovely little email.
Hopefully we get more information as the months go on and we can talk about that.
Right, once we get closer. But Kyle writes, hello, everyone. Here are my audios for the week. We're exploring episode 391 in our Blast from the Past. Enjoy, Kyle. All right, let's listen to Kyle's week. This is Kyle's week from before because we skipped last week. Thank you, Kyle.
Hello, Ctrl. Kyle here. I'm at a coffee shop because reasons and tutoring and work, so hopefully the background noise isn't too much. This week, I did get a little bit of playtime. On my main, I continue to do Volpera World Quests to up my rep. I think I'm about 4,500 away from Exalted, so just need about 3 more of the World Quests daily thingies going on, and then I'll have my Volpera Exalted, and then once 8.3 drops, I'm going to be leveling a Volpera. Yay! I still haven't decided on a class yet. Right now, I'm actually kind of leading on Priest, because reasons. I don't know. I really want another healer. I'm like a healer main, so I want a healer off-spec to be able to go on. We'll see. I don't know. Let's see, and then also on my main, in addition to working on Volpera Rep, I've been doing archaeology, just because this is the only character I've actually really leveled archaeology on, and I'm only, I'm less than 20 points away from reaching the max of 950, and like I said, I've never leveled archaeology this high before, so I'm just kind of okay, sure, it's there. I'm going to keep on going. Keep on digging. Thank you, Lita, for the song. The other big accomplishment I've done is that I got my Mage Quilava up to 120 this weekend. And Actually, I found out really, really great leveling tactic was time walking dungeons. I mean, so if you go to the Dungeon Finder and if you do a random Battle for Azeroth dungeon, you get like 100,000 experience for completing the dungeon plus the chest thing, but that's only a one-time thing. Well, I've noticed, I'm not sure if this is a bug or if this is intentional, so Blizzard, cover your ears. Okay, Blizzard, your ears covered? Okay, good. So I've noticed that with the time walking, that one-time XP of completing a dungeon of 100,000 XP for completing the dungeon is repeatable. It's not a one-time thing. So I kept doing time walking after time walking after time walking, and at like one time walking dungeon, I mean, just guesstimating, but it easily got me at least a half a level, if not 3/4 of a level. And the queues for time walking dungeons are like half the wait time as the regular dungeons as a DPS. So regular Battle for Azeroth dungeons, I'd be in a queue for like 16 minutes. Time walking dungeons, 8 minutes. And it was really fun doing the time walking dungeons. Burning Crusade time walking dungeons, just a lot of fun and good people. And I actually used my, actually had a chance to use my skills, like, my polymorph to try to CC some crowds whenever we got a little too bully. And I loved it. It was really fun. So anyway, that's it. I think maybe my next task is I'm going to level my Shaman Avatar in Clan of Darkness, do the same way. Maybe just abuse the time walking a bit more. Since he's a healer, I can do fast queues as a healer and maybe get him up. Oh yeah, the other nice thing about time walking dungeons too is you get gear scaled up to your item level. So still collecting gear as I go. Anyway, that's been my week. Hope you've all had a great one. Until next time, bye.
Oh, Kyle! Wow. I hope Blizzard isn't listening.
I don't think that's a bug. I think that's
the way it's working as intended.
You're earning that by doing the time walking dungeon. It's not like
so fast queues.
You're putting up with people who aren't as super awesome as the elite of the elite.
Yeah, and they've been doing time walking for a while. I think somebody would have noticed.
Yeah.
So,
right. Somebody would have said something.
Month.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's got that mount you were talking about, the ensonsulated, whatever it's called. It was pretty cool looking. It's like a mana worm thing.
Yeah, mana worm thing.
With armor on.
I'm glad you got to play, and the coffee shop worked out fine, so thank you so much.
It's nice to have a bit of background.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of nice. It was interesting.
Yeah.
So time walking is the way to go. And
certainly seems to be if you want to get a bit. And also, it's not like you're not earning other stuff from it. So
right, and the fact that the gear you get scales down or scales up is really great. You should do your own show, Kyle. You're very informative. More informative.
Then he wouldn't be able to do. Then he wouldn't be able to send in the stuff to him.
Right.
Oh, I bought the time walking mount, the Dragonhawk Fusion Dragonhawk. It's a weird looking Dragonhawk.
A weird looking Dragonhawk.
Yeah.
All right.
Not one of my favorites.
Well, now let's listen to Kyle's Blast from the Past.
Alright.
Hello, Ctrl-Alt-WoW darlings. It's me. Just left the Las Vegas, what's it called? Age of Chivalry Renaissance Festival. It's late, and I just realized I didn't send you guys a recording, and I'm sorry. So I thought I'd send you one real quick. It'll be super fast. I haven't had much time to play in the last 2 weeks because, it's October, so lots of stuff to do and costumes to make and all that fun stuff. And plus, Keith just wants to play Diablo 3 all the time. So there's that. Did you have fun today, Andrew?
I did.
Yay!
Good.
You were sad you didn't get to see any belly dancers, though, huh?
I was devastated.
I'm sorry. What the heck? Yeah. I know it's a clean podcast. They're going to have to bleep you.
Sorry. Why?
Why don't you play World of Warcraft with me, Andrew?
Because I don't want to.
Well, there you have it. That was something. Anyway, I hope that you ladies are all doing much better than me right now. My friend won't play World of Warcraft with me. And my sweetheart only wants to play Diablo 3. Woe is me. Talk about first world problems, right? Yep. Okay. All right. So this is unedited. Sorry about that. I only had one beer tonight. I'm not drunk, I promise. Hope everybody's doing great and playing WoW. And I'm excited for Hallow's End. It's going to be awesome. All right. Love you guys. Or gals. Great big hugs and kisses. Mwah.
Dark Moon Fair. My favorite time of the month. Every month, Dark Moon Fair. So excited that I completely forgot about it this month. That you had to remind me that it was on. That I went, Dark Moon Fair's on? Is it? Oh, yes. So, yeah.
Jeremy, I'm coming!
Yeah, don't fear, Jeremy. I am on my way. Yeah. So, I managed to take 17 tunes through this month, and I got my monk Lita Lou here at 56, and my pally Lita hit 40. So I was excited out of that because they're all making levels just slowly. Just, just a little bit every month. They just put a little bit of XP on, which is good. So I did my dance with Jeremy Fiesel again and again and again and again and again and again. He just went, come back next month. So still no luck with
come back next month and don't forget about me this time.
Yeah. I know. I'm going to have to, I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. What was I thinking? So, but yeah, it's always, I really wish I could just have a Dark Moon Fair as my garrison. That's what I want. That's what I want. If they said, Leader, what do you want in game? It's like, make me this. I would be in heaven. So, but yes, so make sure I don't forget this coming month. So, yeah. So, I've been running through like Stonecore and ZG and all of that. So I decided I'd because everyone kept telling me, just run through Stonecore normal, reset it thing. They're like, yeah, it'll only take you like 5 or 10 goes to do it. I'm like, yeah, sure. My RNG has been fantastic lately. So this is really going to work. Over 140 runs.
Oh my goodness.
And I have an add-on called Mob Info that tells me how many times I've killed something, what I've looted from it, and I've been running it for a very long time, and it decided to reset itself. So I don't have the full number, but from the last couple of weeks when it reset, it's been over 140 runs in normal to finally gave me something very, very shiny. And that's the amount dropped. And I have got the picture there of the mount in my bag and me standing there looking at it, just going, what's that? What's that? What? What? Oh my God! Oh my God! It dropped! It dropped! It dropped! It dropped! It dropped! It dropped! And then did the happy chair dance. You know where you do that, where you're sitting there going. So yeah. So that was super exciting. I couldn't believe that I finally got that one. And then I said to boys, come on, we need to get a screenshot on one of the floating islands. So we went and found one of my favorite islands. I've got a couple, but this one's got a great big tree. It's not the one that's got the waterfall. This one's just got the great big tree on it. And one of my favorite places in the whole of Azeroth is Nagrand. And
beautiful.
The times that I need to go and chill out, you will normally find me in the ground, sitting on this island, just staring at the moon. So it's such a pretty place.
Oh my God, I have to jump in again. I'm over in Daenerys, and I just finished killing off the giants. I'm standing here fishing, and one of these giants, I've never seen them do this. He had his back to me. He leaned over, apparently farted because this big green bubble came out of his butt.
You're kidding.
He then poked it with his finger and made the bubble pop, and then brushed his hand back behind his butt like he was blowing it away.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh my God. So my inner 12-year-old had to share that immediately. Okay, brilliant. I'm sorry.
No, that was well worth it.
Dice can stack more than 10. Yay!
It's so awesome how all these mats stack up. I went to sell some Ghost Iron the other day, and it was like a stack of 46 or something. I'm like, oh, it's so awesome!
Oh, so good.
OMG! It only takes 50 lesser charms of good fortune to upgrade, and I have 424 on one of my tunes. Wow, I could probably max out all my gear.
Wow.
Oh, but they need to update the text. Use your honor, justice, conquest, and valor to upgrade a weapon or piece of armor that is level 458 or higher.
Grand Naked says that 200 is the stack size now for that stuff.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That
awesome.
Is so good.
Think how much space that is saving in your bags, right? Just right there. 200. That's 10 slots.
The next email is from Matterhorn. Hello, car ladies. Well, we have less than a month for the new expansion, so I thought I would do one more project. Instead of deciding to use one of my level 90s when the expansion comes out, I have decided to level a new character. Ooh. So I deleted...
Oh my God.
Excuse me.
Heart attack.
I deleted one of my level Tauren hunters.
Level 90 Tauren.
Level 90 Tauren hunters.
What were you thinking?
Okay, I may faint.
Yeah,
I'm having heart palpitations.
Not the first time he's deleted a max level tune.
Oh my gosh, I just cannot imagine it.
I know.
Wow. I made a Pandarian hunter. A Pandarian hunter. As I speak, she is 2 weeks old and is heading to Northrend at level 68. Oh my. I love Matterhorn. I am enjoying the new patch. Since Nagrand is my favorite zone, I like that hunters can now tame cleft hooks. Ooh, talburks and hydras. Ooh, I'm going to have to send my hunter out there. Thank you.
Ooh, I may have to go out there if I can finish dying repeatedly. I can do it now.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to go right now. Anyway, mustache. I have a panda to level. I hope you ladies are enjoying the new content. Sincerely, Matterhorn. P.S. Loving the new Warlord's Death Wheel mount. It is my first motorbike mount. Awesome.
All
right.
Very cool. Thanks, Matta.
Yeah.
I had a little goblin trike before. Does that count? It makes vroom vroom noises.
Sure.
Oh, wow. That was so good. It was so good to hear Juno on one beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great. And the Fiesel with Lita, and not to mention hearing from Matta, and and the stacking. Remember when we got that? That was amazing.
You don't have to remember. You go play Classic.
Oh yeah, that's right. We can go back and play Classic and feel it all over again. You can also just stick.
How hard would it have been just to put stacking in Classic?
Right.
Honestly.
Right. We don't need all the realisticness of that.
Don't need the painful stuff.
Right.
And
Well, then it wouldn't be Classic. Oh, did I say that out loud? So thank you, Kyle, for the blast from the past. That was really, really good to hear everybody. And now's the time I get to play this.
We're clan of darkness here together. What's in an egg that we can't weather? Apocalypse. We've all been there. The same old boss. Why should we care? We're clan of darkness here together. What's in an egg that we can't weather? There's nothing that we can't face. Except for blaze.
And now it's time for the update of Clan of Darknesses and Control Alt WoW on Neverhoof and Wormrest Accord and maybe something from Pagel. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, excellent. How are they doing?
Well, it looks like Classic is taking a Classic break, and it looks like people are really, really active on the green stuff. On Winterhoof, I think we have Greeny Gogo at level 10. At level 20, we have Iron Efficient at level 30. Congratulations to those green characters.
Right,
at level 50, we have Effortless. My goodness, like I don't know how you do level 50 on the Iron Man. And at level 85, we have somebody called Sky Green. And it blows my mind that they made it to Pandaria.
Right.
Like Pandaria is hard.
Very hard.
You think about it, if you're wearing only green or gray or whites, that's like there's a couple of spots there that are a little bit tight where the mobs are really packed in close together. So you have to be careful how to do the starter zone because you don't get a flight path unless you do the starter zone.
Right.
Hopefully you have flying, you can move to safe areas.
Right, but even to get flying, you don't have a lot of money. So if you got flying, then you did pretty well.
Yeah. We have no new candidates for max level, no new candidates for flying when time flies when you're having fun. However, in Classic, we have some levels in the Horde side guild. We don't have any new levels on the Alliance guild. Everything looks the same. But on the Horde side, we have April with a Y at level 2. We have a suspicion who that might be.
Right.
And we have Rarebit, who 2 weeks ago got from 26 to level 27. Congrats.
All right. Awesome,
Well done.
guys.
These people doing any of these sort of challenges always blow my mind.
I know. It's amazing.
If something died, I'd be like, sod it. I'm not deleting that. There's so many level 6s.
And Varishna used to not only delete, but before he deleted, he would sell off stuff. And I mean, I was so like, oh, you're dead. I'm not even. I can't even look at you again. Anyways, good show, everybody. Shout out to Grand Negus. Can't wait for him to get back and give us his view of BlizzCon. And a special shout out to you, Jeppy, for joining us.
Yes.
This was great.
It's been a pleasure. I had so much to say.
Yes.
I apologise that I seem to have expanded the show by 3 or so hours.
No, that's fine. People actually enjoy a long show.
But isn't that the point, though?
That's the point, yes.
Considering you have significantly more alts than the rest of us.
Right. And you've gotten altaholicism down to a science.
Yeah.
That's right.
9 accounts. Not everyone can compete with you on that level.
Right. So we enjoy your area of expertise. All right.
Sweet.
And I'm going to have to look into that thing to do the assist so I can streamline my combat.
Interact with target, assist focus. It's all kicking off.
Interact target is super handy to have. If you have multiple rogues, kick. Then you switch to the other rogue. Kick. Then you switch to the other rogue. Kick. Because it's on a short cooldown, so you can interrupt just about everything. Yeah, you can kick him in the knee or something. Because
does that just interrupt? It doesn't damage, does that?
No, it doesn't do damage, but it just interrupts the cast.
That would be cool.
It used to be have a talent where you would interrupt that whole school if you interrupt during that cast.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And that little interrupt can be enough to give you a heads up. All right. I'm a Aprillian for the Horde.
And I'm Constrax for Overwatch.
And I'm Jeffy for Die Bussenfunde und Shadowlands.
Woot!
Hoorah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat room. Wow. Somebody was stabbed to death at a Popeyes over the chicken.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
I haven't had one yet either. Every time I've gone, they've been out of it. But hey.
What an amazing campaign to fake awareness.
Right.
It's like that McRib. You can make McRibs every freaking day of the year.
Right, but they only do it during a special period. Oh,
Mad.
Right.
We're such poor consumers.
No, well, yeah, we're poor consumers, and they're good at duping us. All right, guys, thanks again. I
will now stop the broadcast. I forgot.